Good evening. This is Dr. Architect Poorva Keskar, Director VKE Environmental, Trustee Sustainability Initiatives, Principal SMEF Brick School of Architecture, and Chairperson IGBC Pune Chapter. Climate change poses great existential threat to mankind. Green built environment can considerably contribute to mitigating this climate change, especially in India, where 60% of the infrastructure and built environment is yet to be built. I believe in starting small, making incremental changes, educating myself and the younger generation by way of my engagement at SMAF Brick School of Architecture, advocating and actioning sustainable practices by community engagement through sustainability initiatives, which is an NGO, and integrating, executing, and implementing sustainable practices in built environment by way of environmental impact assessments, carbon footprinting, ESG strategies, and green building certifications at my consultancy at VKE. I am privileged to be considered for the Asia Pacific Network Green Building Leadership Award 2024 under the category Women in Green Building Leadership. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and I'm really proud to be nominated by World Green Building Council for the Asia Pacific Network Green Building Leadership Awards 2024 in the category Women in Green Building Leadership. My journey has been in a very diverse directions in terms of contributing to the green built environment ecosystem in India. I started as an architect working after graduation in 1988 in the sector of industrial and residential projects. But later, there was a shift of gear. I've been able to contribute diversely in the field of practice, in the field of academics, as well as through my NGO sustainability initiatives. I believe that actioning sustainability in India was one of the major aspects of spreading awareness about sustainable built environment. As well as because I have roots in politics, I stood for elections and I wanted to make a change. I felt that government was one of the powerful sectors in which we have to make a change and drive policies so that to create larger impacts. I have therefore also served on various board of architecture in various universities to influence the architecture education, and I feel that younger minds influenced is multiplication of spreading of awareness about green built environment. So here I'm going to talk about my practice, my academic guidance and mentorship that I did, my research, because I earned a PhD in indoor environment quality at the age of 50. So, my education in environment has been a continuous effort for me right from the time I passed out architecture and started teaching climatology at a very early stage of, architecture course. So this is my journey. In 1994, because of unavoidable circumstances, I had to leave my architecture practice and come into academics. But believe me, it was a boon. I could really spend a lot of time and energy analyzing and reviewing the architecture that was happening around me in India. Climate responsive architecture was just one small conceptual course which was taught in architecture education, and I realized that we need to make a change and drive it towards more deeper understanding of building science so that the next generation of architects are able to kind of integrate it in their practice. So, under my leadership, we developed a master's program in environmental architecture in 2005. And this was taken up by Savitribai Phule. Pune University is one of the largest universities in India, having a very high standing. Then on, there are many institutions who have taken up this course since 2006 when it got first introduced. And later, I was getting uneasy, only working in academics and mentoring. And I saw this opportunity. India was thinking of developing a rating system for its city, which is called as Pune, which is today a big metro city competing for its population with Mumbai, which is the economic capital of India. And that is where International Institute of Energy Conservation, along with Science and Technology Park India, with USAID, started developing a criteria called as eco-housing criteria, which was supposed to be implemented in Pune city. But the Puneites had no awareness about green buildings. That was a time when I did a lot of advocacy, training, and awareness for eco-housing. Later, in 2007, because the developers didn't have any expert people to handhold them in terms of implementing the measures that were suggested in eco-housing, me with my partner, Anagha Paranspe, we started this practice called Green Interventions Collaborative from our homes. So we were working with very few projects and at the same time, teaching the master's course in environmental architecture at one of the colleges affiliated to Pune University. In 2009, we formally established VKE Environmental, which is a practice with my partner again, Rishikesh Kulkarni, and we had 2 projects and 1 employee. In 2024, we have worked on 650 plus projects with 42 employees. So this is a growth that we have seen in the last few years. My partners Rishikesh, Anagha, and Kanchan have contributed my journey at my practice. So here at VKE, what do? We ensure that practicing sustainability becomes a collective mission for all of us to make businesses and construction sector resilient and responsive to the growing challenges of climate change. We started working in sustainable built environment and green buildings because that was the first opportunity that we got, and further expanded into energy and resource management, further into sustainability reporting, because we all know that environment is becoming more and more crucial in terms of regulatory compliances in India, and that is where we started looking at environmental impact assessment for projects in construction sector. Finally, we realizing that we need to make a change at the design stage. At the MEP services end, we started building engineering services just 4 years back. So what have I contributed till now? I did a lot of advocacy in green buildings with the cities, and we were able to get in 3 different cities across India. The first one was Rajarhat, which is a new town in Kolkata, which was coming up. And fortunately, we had a rating system, which is called as IGBC Green Existing City Rating System, which we tried and used to develop the policies for the city. The next challenge was working with an existing city, which is my own city, which is Pune again. We could do a lot of advocacy and convince the government that they should try and look and assess as to where they are. We all are cribbing that Pune has changed adversely, and we wanted to make a point that Pune administration is trying to do its best to keep things under control. And this is where they agreed, and finally Pune city also got a IGBC existing city rating. Now imagine an existing city getting rated. And the framework is so beautifully developed that you look at the changes which are happening in the city in 20 years. So you benchmark what is happening 20 years back and also look at what is happening today, and the change that has happened positively in all the environmental aspects need to be looked at. The third city that I worked with was Pimpri-Chinchwad Municipal Corporation, which is an urban local body, which is an industrial town near Pune city. And that too recently got platinum certified. Further, green building, I have, as I said, worked on 650 green building projects. So at one end, I was feeling a little uneasy that me being an architect, not able to really practice architecture. But now I'm happy that I'm able to influence the decisions of the architects and almost working on 650 projects, which would have not been possible if I was only working as an architect. So we have been able to influence around 30 million square feet of green built environmental now. Energy savings of around 50,000 megawatt hours per year, 75 lakh kiloliters of water saving per year, 35,000 megatons of organic waste being treated in situ in the projects that we have influenced and keep on influencing through the life in terms of performance challenges. Also turning into looking at embodied energy, we have been able to look at almost 50 plus project life cycle analysis for construction projects and 5 10 different product LCAs, finally resulting in carbon emission reduction of around 410,000 megatons per year. So this is a kind of contribution I was able to make in terms of my practice. The first platinum rated IGBC Green Homes project, which came out in Maharashtra, was in 2012. And what we did here was that we tried and convinced the developer to go in and use a hybrid small wind turbine and PV system to generate renewable energy. When people were not even talking about renewable energy integration in construction project, this developer, the collaborator that we had, was really gracious enough to trust us, because we did a lot of simulations and tried and worked out the payback periods for him to take this decision. This project was a winner of NDTV Property Award for the best environment-friendly project in 2017, and now you will understand the value that this project was being used in an environment-friendly way from 2012 to 2017. So we have a case where people have contributed to the operations of green project in a very green and performing way. This is a project that we worked on, which is Kannur International Airport, which is Kerala, and it finally incidentally got LEED India Gold certification in 2012. Here we used a lot of evidence-based design to kind of work on energy efficiency, because we all know that people's behavior and energy efficiency are very much interrelated, and evidence-based design in terms of energy simulations, daylight simulations could help us take decisions in terms of the technologies which were to be used in this Kannur International Airport. We also realized that this is a chance for us to also, give livelihoods to the localites and look at the other social aspect of sustainability when people were not talking of E, S, and G. And that is where we worked with these people to create clay tiles, and a lot of clay tiles were used in the facade by the architect, which was Kitco. It was a government architect. We were lucky. We were I was working a lot with Bureau of Energy Efficiency. I got myself trained as a master trainer for Energy Conservation Building Code 2007. And I'm really happy to say that I was the first one to do that in my state. And that is where, BE identified 4 different consultants, and I was one of them to work on the demo projects for ECBC 2007. We were given a project in Kerala, and we are really happy to add value to the project, not only in terms of energy efficiency and resource efficiency, but also give a feedback to ECBC 2007 in terms of the financial and the practical feasibility of implementing the code which was to be introduced in India. So the next version of the code, which is Energy Conservation Building Code 2017, integrated the feedback that we had given as a consultant to BEE. Large logistic parks are coming up in India, and there is a change in the entire landscape of a village. The village just explodes, and you have large built spaces. And here the main issue was, how do we deal with the site planning? And that is where we worked with the architect to look at what different kind of species could be put in, giving them some visionary ideas to do that, and also work with the village around. Because of my interest of working with the community, we actually connected to the village and looked at what this entire XCO logistic park could do with the village. And XCO Logistic Park then provided solar street lights to this village, created a nice pond for water harvesting for the village, and the village was really happy because it was also getting livelihoods. This is again one of our path-breaking projects where LEED V4 version was first introduced, and this project got platinum rating for LEED V4. Now, what was the beauty here? That we had a multi-mode air conditioning system introduced in this project, and the architect was also trying to figure out and reason with us to convince the owner that we should try this system, and this system was ground earth cooling. So ground earth tunnel cooling was implemented in this project on the ground floor. For the open offices, we implemented the evaporative ducted cooling, and for the cabins and places where there was diversity in occupation, we used the VRF. So this was one of the first project which was trying to use multi-mode air conditioning and ventilation system, and it has served as a kind of an path-breaking project for the region. This, because I'm a researcher at heart, I felt that we should take part in competition. And there was a competition which was announced by Niti Aayog and Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change, where they wanted ideas for lifestyle for environment. And this lady from Germany won this competition, and then the entire ministry came out with another competition as to how to design the ice boxes challenge. Now, the Icebox Challenge is a public installation that visually demonstrates the benefits of energy efficient buildings. So people, how do you communicate this complex mechanism to commoners? So that was an idea. And the winning statement given by the ministry was this: the winning design submitted by VKE Environmental stood out for its optimal balance between eye-catching architectural design, construction detailing, and for its potential to be replicated for mass housing projects in India's growth urban areas. So here we stayed on the site for 10 days. We constructed these 4 different enclosures, and we put around 1 ton of ice in each enclosure. Now each enclosure had specification which mapped very well with different codes. So the first enclosure, which was a typical, builder-oriented kind of specification, we realized that after 10 days there were 2 kgs of ice remaining. In the government-related specification mechanism, you found that 9 kgs ice was remaining. With Energy Conservation Building Code India compliant enclosure, there was 267 kgs of ice. And while as solar passive house standard, which comes from Germany, there was around 600 kgs of ice remaining after 10 days. So with the entire, common people surrounding, and when we were measuring it, gave us a they got very excited to understand that enclosures look the same, but they behave differently. And this was a very good message that we could give by winning this competition. So in my educational impact, I have been able to train almost 675 students from 1994 till date in various capacities as a head of Environmental Architecture Department, as a principal of SMEF Brick School of Architecture, as through various seminars and workshops. I have been able to spread awareness and train around 450 officers for green buildings, environmental impact assessment, energy conservation building codes across India, and from various departments like town planning, public work departments, from energy department, state designated agencies, so on and so forth. And finally, my calling, which was architecture, so I've been able to contribute back to architecture by collaborating with Council of Architecture and training almost 240 architects and faculty for empowering them to understand the building science aspects and how do you take these aspects in design studios. So this is my endeavor. You can see me very young in 1994, talking and working with the students, and then maybe large crowds like NICMAR, which are, universities like NICMAR, where they are having project management and construction management courses. My students at Masters won the decarbonization challenge way back in 2012. And that was a feather in my cap, because no one was talking about net zero carbon or not talking about carbon. We were yet only talking about energy efficiency. And finally, this is something that even though these are not master students, they are undergrad students. And like I said, I was uneasy teaching the undergrad. I could empower them to win the solar decathlon consecutively for 3 years, which is a challenge to design net zero buildings. My research and my PhD, I could publish in refereed journals and make a mark and contribute and learn from my peers in the scientific area of human comfort. I have been writing series of articles in regional language, which you see down there, as well as English language. So newspapers, I felt, was a very good medium to spread awareness, because every person, I think, should start demanding green-built environment, without which the pull is not going to be there. And then through sustainability initiatives, I was the editor of this book called Green Footprints of Pune, and a quarterly which we come out with, which is called as SI Imprint. And a unique project with IGBC, I did as a co-chair of IGBC. We did a map of all the green building projects in Pune city, And we kept this map in different hotels, and we asked the hotel reception to share these maps with the visitors so that they will get excited and will want to go and visit these green buildings and understand that Pune is a progressive city trying to work towards climate change mitigation. So I have been working as a consultant to Pune Municipal Corporation since 2007, consultant to Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Ministry of Power in 2007, in 2017 and in 2020, advocacy for creating green building policy and incentive mechanism, which was very new to the overall ecosystem. And I think incentive mechanism is something which drove the common developers to take up green building in Pimpri-Chinchwad Municipal Corporation, which is an industrial city. And that I did in 2012. Further, ECBC's cell in the state, Econivas Sanhita, which is a code again for energy efficiency in the residential buildings again in the state. I also recently worked with a good think tank and came out with a paper for decarbonization strategies in the entire PMR region, which is a very huge region. And through me being a member of a high-level monitoring committee, Mahabaleshwar and Pachgani Eco-Sensitive Zone 2024, this zone is a part of Western Ghats, which is identified by UNESCO as a World Natural Heritage Site. And me being on that committee, I'm sure that I'm going to make an impact at the regional level. So my government and public engagements you see through eco-housing, through Pune Municipal Corporation getting rated, through Pimpri-Chinchwad Municipal Corporation, again a big city getting rated, through my work with public work departments in energy conservation, building code, demonstration projects, and my public engagements on different topics with different stakeholders, right from, urban biodiversity parks to pledging to commit to green lifestyle in 2010, then, talking about flash floods and, relationship with green built environment recently, and also, having different site visits for students, spreading awareness of indoor air quality at the mayor's office. So influencing the politicos is a very important, aspect. And we did an indoor environment quality assessment of the mayor of Pune city. And we suggested certain changes, also put in certain species and number of plants in her cabin. And then further again did the measurements to come out and demonstrate that such small, not rocket science measures can make wonders. So, consistently working towards what you believe in create ripples, and you don't know how people notice you. So here me getting different awards from different organizations. I got a IIA citation in 2015 for the work that I've been doing in the field of architecture. The Real Woman Award as a contribution as a green warrior because of the actioning programs that I did with the community. IGBC Green Fellow Award Fellow in 2016. Also, Paryavaran Gaurav. Paryavaran is Environment Gaurav Award from the Environment Club of India, as well as the Maharashtra Pollution Control Board in 2023. Indian Institute of Architect Award again in 2022. Award by Maha NGO, which is the apex body of the NGO Federation, and Lokmat, which is a news daily, in 2023. Also, ESA Award 2024 for my contribution in the field of education. And just last week, I received an award by Indian Institute of Architects, which is a Pink Print Award 2024. The works that I did, the works that I led at my practice also earned us a few awards, which is a Hadko Design Award in 2013, the ESA Award for me as a consultant for one of the SKF projects, ESA Award again later for a residential project, and then my practice was recognized by IGBC as Green Champion Award in 2019. This is an appreciation certificate that I get by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, for which I've been working for many years. So I feel that when passion meets profession, retirement becomes obsolete. So even though I started in 88 and today I'm here at 58, I'm learning new every day. I just gave my lead ISO 14064 examination, verifier examination 2 months back, and I passed it. So I have been giving examinations after examinations, trying to check and challenge myself for the technical knowledge, and at the same time work with community for seeing that change happen by way of my practice and the technical expertise that I have. So thank you for giving me this opportunity for my presentation. Thank you.